Hello, my growing community of believers, and welcome once again to a new video in this series where we're studying the Bible chronologically. Today in the Holy Scriptures, we continue in the book of Genesis, and we'll see how the Tower of Babel changed everything. After the flood, humanity multiplied once again, but with growth came a new problem: pride and self-sufficiency. In an attempt to reach the heavens, men decided to build a tower so high that it would touch God himself. But what started as a project of greatness ended in confusion and dispersion. This is the story of the Tower of Babel. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to follow our chronological Bible series. Leave a comment with your thoughts on this episode. The whole earth spoke one language. Let's read Genesis 11 verses 1 to 2. Now the whole earth had one language and a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in the land of Shinar and settled there. Imagine a world where everyone speaks the same language, no barriers, no misunderstandings. Humanity was united in communication, making collaboration easy. But instead of using that unity to follow God, they used it for their own glory. Building the tower, pride and self-sufficiency. Genesis 11 verses 3 to 4. They said to each other, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone, and tar for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." Here we see the heart of the problem: the desire to make a name for themselves and avoid being scattered. Instead of trusting God and filling the earth as He commanded, they wanted to control their own destiny without Him. Sound familiar? In many modern philosophies, we see the same idea: humanity trying to reach heaven by its own means. Here's a comparison to modern philosophy: Nietzsche and the Übermensch. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche spoke of the Übermensch, Superman, an evolved human who overcomes moral and religious constraints. In a way, the builders of Babel tried to be supermen, seeking greatness without relying on God. But just like in the biblical story, this pursuit of self-made glory led to failure and chaos. God intervenes and confuses the languages. Genesis 11 verses 5 to 7. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. The Lord said, "If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other." God did not destroy the tower with fire or send another flood. He simply changed their language. In an instant, perfect communication was broken. The great project collapsed, not because of war or disaster, but because the workers could no longer understand each other. The scattering of the nations. Genesis 11 verses 8 to 9. So the Lord scattered them from there over all the earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why it was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From there, the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth. The name Babel comes from the Hebrew word meaning confusion. What started as an attempt at greatness ended in dispersion. Instead of a unifying tower, separate nations emerged, each with its own language and culture. Final reflection: the lesson of Babel. The problem of Babel wasn't the construction of a tower, but the pride of the human heart. They wanted to reach God without God. The world today continues this pattern. We seek power, control, and greatness while forgetting God. The true bridge between God and humanity is not a tower built by men, but Christ. In the New Testament at Pentecost, Acts 2, God reversed the confusion of languages, allowing the apostles to speak in various tongues to unite nations under one message: the gospel. What do you think about the Tower of Babel? Do you see parallels with today's world? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to continue our chronological Bible series. See you in the next video.